And with that, I would like to welcome everyone to the first episode of Game Night Fight Night, which is the name I just made up for it. I might change it. We'll see. Maybe this will be the only episode. We'll also see. But I'm joined today by Dan.
Hello, I'm Dan.
I'm joined by Eric.
Hello.
I'm joined by Gideon.
Harp.
And I'm joined by Jack.
Hello, I hate the state of Ohio.
Nice.
You too?
Fuck's Ohio.
Now let me just double check to make sure. I am
Again.
50 skipped frames detected, 58% over the last 2 minutes and a few seconds. Cool. Probably just the. I'll check in later to make sure that's okay. And today, these 4 men will be helping me to debate which of these 10 men from songs will win a fight. As you can see on the screen, we have 10 amazing options. We have the Piano Man, the Rocket Man, the Nowhere Man. Oh, for reference, Piano Man, Billy Joel, the Rocket Man from Elton John, the Nowhere Man from the Beatles, the Little Lion Man from Mumford & Sons, the Soul Man from the people that sing I'm a Soul Man. Eric, who sings that?
Sam and Dave.
Sam and Dave. The Ocean Man from Ween, the Iron Man from Black Sabbath, the man Bruno Mars was, He Was Your Man by Bruno Mars, Mr. Brightside by the Killers, and Mr. Blue Sky by Jeff and the Jeff's ELO.
Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah. I know it's Jeff something and the Electric Light Orchestra, but I don't remember who.
Jeff Lynne.
Jeff Lynne, yes. So, these men will be taking 2 songs each from this board and using them as be their representatives in a tournament, which means 2 of these songs will not make the cut. So basically, if you thought that song was going to win, if it wasn't picked, it probably wasn't going to win. Just to make it, yeah. We're going to do a snake order draft, so whoever picks first will also be picking 8th pretty much. So it'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to decide the order, I have a D12. I'm going to roll it 3 times. Okay, so Jack will pick first by this random order. Gideon will pick second. Dan will pick third, and Eric will pick fourth. So that means, Jack, you get the first overall pick of the board of who you want to represent in this tournament.
All right.
A lot of power.
So that is a lot of power because I can choose any of these. And I'm going to go with the fighter that I know best and the fighter that I have the most personal confidence in, which is the Piano Man.
Jack is taking the Piano Man, an excellent pick. He's one of my top picks as well. And up next,
Or it could be a 1-seater.
It is technically number 1 because it was the first pick. Now, Gideon, you get to pick next. You can pick anyone who's not the Piano Man.
Well, I gotta admit, it's not my favorite Ween song in the world, but I love the band. I think they're great, and it is from my favorite movie ever, so I'll draft Ocean Man.
Gideon has taken the Ocean Man by the hand, which means, Dan, you get to pick next.
Now, I think I'm going to be going with one that y'all might not expect, but as a lifelong Beatles fan, I got to go with the kind of deep-cut classic Nowhere Man.
Dan has taken the Nowhere Man. Now, Eric, not only do you get the 4th pick, you also get the 5th pick. So you get both your picks right now.
Oh, I get a okay. Okay, I see how.
So you don't get a top 3 pick, but you do get the 4th and the 5th.
Minor fault, a major lift. I'm gonna go with the Soul Man.
Ooh, taking the Soul Man.
And because it's really funny, I will take the man Bruno Mars was when he was your man.
You have taken Bruno Mars's past self and the Soul Man.
As much as I honestly don't really like that song.
All right, which means
I think it's got potential.
All right, so that means Dan, you're up next. For reference, the 5 remaining songs are Rocket Man, Little Lion Man, Iron Man, Mr. Brightside, and Mr. Blue Sky.
Now, back to what I was saying about how, I'm a lifelong Beatles fan. I'm a more recent Black Sabbath fan. The stuff that I have listened to from them, I enjoy quite a bit. So I do need to go with Iron Man because it is a metal staple slash classic slash, birther of metal. You know what I mean?
Understandable, yes. So Dan has taken the Iron Man as the 6th pick, and Gideon, you're up next.
How
What?
the hell is Rocket Man in the last 3 to get picked?
The last 4. It's Rocket Man, Little Iron Man, and the 2 Misters.
Oh, right. Lion. I forgot about Lion.
I gotta say, this song still charts after perhaps a decade and a half or whatever since it came out. So Mr. Brightside's a really powerful pick. I'm gonna go with Mr. Brightside.
Gideon has taken Mr. Brightside,
Exactly.
which means, Jack, you have 3 options left. The Rocket Man, the Little Iron Man, and Mr. Blue Sky. Whichever 2 you don't pick are automatically out.
I don't know Schneike's about Soul Man.
It's okay, because Eric already picked that one.
Oh, but hang on, you said...
The 3 remaining songs are Rocket Man, Little Iron Man, and Mr. Blue Sky.
Okay, I'm afraid of Lion, so that one's out. I hate Sunshine and Happiness, so Mr. Blue Sky is out. I have to go with Rocket Man.
Rocket Man is the 8th pick, which means Little Iron Man and Mr. Blue Sky are automatically eliminated. And I would just like to remind you all that you now each have 5 minutes to come up with arguments of why one of your 2 songs would win in a fight to the death. And I'm talking about the people in the song. So Jack, you are arguing on behalf of the Piano Man and the Rocket Man. Gideon, you are arguing on behalf of the Ocean Man and Mr. Brightside. Dan, you are arguing on behalf of the Nowhere Man and the Iron Man. And Eric, you are arguing on behalf of the Soul Man and the man Bruno Mars was when he was your man. And I should reference, Mr. Blue Sky, I'm pretty sure, is the sky itself. So the fact that it was unpicked, a little shocking. It's okay. And Little Iron Man, he's just a bitch. So that is a excellent pick for no one to pick it, in my opinion.
I agree.
The whole song is about him weeping and making a mistake, so you all did good. So only using the song itself, you must now craft arguments, and I will put you all into a tournament.
Do we have to also argue against other people's?
Yes,
or
I will
we
be
arguing in favor of our own.
You will be arguing against other people in a debate tournament.
Oh.
Okay, so with that, you have all had 5 minutes. Maybe it was more. We'll cut it in post. But anyway, here's how post. Anyway, here's how the debating will work. I will give each person 1 minute on their own to discuss why they think their person would win in a fight, followed by 1 minute where you guys are allowed to just talk over each other as a final blast. Or actually, that'll be 30 seconds.
God.
And then everyone who's not in that current debate will vote on who they think won. Winner advances. So we're going to start with Jack's Piano Man taking on Dan's Nowhere Man. So everyone else, can you shut your camera off?
I don't know, can I?
So with that, Jack, I will let you go first because your name's on the left. You have 1 minute to tell me why the Piano Man would beat the Nowhere Man in the fight, starting now.
So, when we think about the song Piano Man, I think the person that the song is least about is the Piano Man himself. It is focusing on others. It is focusing on the common stories of the people at the bar. But we also notice that it goes into peering detail. This is why I believe that the Piano Man has an ungodly power to, by playing music, understanding people's secrets. He mentions in the chorus, quote, "We're all in the mood for a melody." And we know that the manager specifically likes Joel because he draws customers in. I believe he is using music to hypnotize people and draw out their secrets. He knows that real estate novelists never had time for a wife and that he's depressed because of it. He knows that the waitress wants to get the fuck out of there. He knows that John from the bar wants to get the fuck out of there. He knows everything about everyone. And quite frankly, the idea that he is playing music and drinking and just kind of sort of has tabs on everyone naturally doesn't make any sense. He has ungodly power. The final point, and which I believe we'll do in the Nowhere Man, is the fact that one of the lyrics is, quote, the piano.
Time.
All right.
All right.
Finish that point, or is that done?
Dan, would you like him to finish that point?
He can finish.
Okay. My point is that a piano sounds like a piano and not a carnival. So if it sounds like a carnival, Joel is using godly powers to manipulate what it sounds like, which makes me think that he can bend space and time. So he could destroy the Nowhere Man by knowing his secrets and bending reality around him.
Excellent work, Jack. Dan, it is now your turn to explain why the Nowhere Man would beat the Piano Man in 1 minute, starting now.
Of course, this is a vinyl copy of Rubber Soul, which the fourth track on Nowhere Man. So I have physical evidence that this song is better. First lines in the song: he's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Now tell me, Jack, how do you get to nowhere? Exactly. How will you even be able to get to him if you don't know where he is? If he's nowhere at all, if he's making his plans for nobody in nowhere land, he barely exists. Let alone is he able to like be fought, in a battle, and it's, you can't even track him down. He's like hidden. He's invisible. He's nowhere. Think of it this way: in the beginning, couple songs, he's a weird nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land. Those lines, those are in harmony. I assume between these four gentlemen. So if we assume that these four gentlemen make a nowhere man, even if you found him, you'd have to deal with these four gentlemen right here in a battle.
Time.
Can I finish? My point?
Jack, can Dan finish his thought?
By all means.
If the nowhere man equals four Beatles who are seeing those lines together, and I assume he's referring to himself in third person, because why wouldn't he? He's nowhere man. And you'd be dealing, even if you found him, if you somehow got to Nowhere Land and you found him, then you'd have to deal with these four strapping young lads against one old bad guy who's at a piano bar.
All right. Now, with that, I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to talk over each other about why your person would beat the other person in a fight. Starting now.
Half the Beatles are fucking dead, so that our theory makes no fucking sense. Okay? Billy Joel can just swing his piano around. Also, the fact is that it's like the piano will like break your mind. He can just read the Nowhere Mind's mind and find out where Nowhere is and just go there and kick his ass. Also, the microphone smells like a beer. He can pick up the microphone and beat the shit out of whichever Beatles are still alive. My gut is that Ringo Starr isn't going to fight because he's all peace and love, which is
time. All right, with all of that, I would like Gideon and Eric to both come back up. So Gideon and Eric, you guys will vote, and if you guys don't agree, I will be the tiebreaker. So, before you vote, Jack, one last sentence. Dan, one last sentence.
Okay. The Piano Man can read minds, bend reality, and generally causes foes enough distress that he can physically destroy them easily, even if they're hiding vital information from him.
And then Dan.
So if the Piano Man is in a bar, he's probably drinking and might be drunk. The Beatles, who are, I'm assuming, making up Nowhere Man, are probably on drugs. LSD to be specific, which is way cooler than being drunk.
With that in mind, if you would like to vote for Jack's Piano Man, put up one finger. If you'd like to vote for Dan's Nowhere Man, put up two fingers. And please do so on 3. 1, 2, 3. One finger on each hand, which means the Piano Man moves on to the semifinals.
Let's go. Good game, Dan. Good game. That was awesome.
Good game.
I do think that because Piano Man can't find Nowhere Land, most likely Nowhere Man would have to go to the Piano Man, giving the Piano Man home field advantage in that whole hypnotized state with everyone else. So I was going to lean more towards Jack as well.
Understand.
I thought it was a really tight race, actually. I thought the idea that the Piano Man could play what really tightened it for me was the fact that the Piano Man could just peer into his mind and find his hiding place.
Yeah, he knows the weaknesses of everyone in that bar.
Exactly. It's like there's no way that he's casually talking and just knows every individual person's life story and ambitions. He's reading their minds.
That's understandable. You know what? I respect it. I really.
Okay, so we are going to jump next to Eric and Gideon, so if you're not Eric and Gideon, please turn your camera off for this part.
Alright.
So it is the Soul Man taking on the Ocean Man. And we are going to start with Eric, because his photo is on the left of the Soul Man. So Eric, you have 1 minute to explain to me why the Soul Man would beat the Ocean Man in a fight. Starting now.
So, I think you must be wondering, how on earth does the Soul Man beat the Ocean Man? And the answer here is that the Soul Man is not a physical manifestation of a man. He is the physical manifestation of the soul, the peak of human condition, the ideal. The lyrics say that he was brought up on the side streets, meaning he has a whole lot of just street smarts. You know, just practical wisdom. Things that he can use to outsmart, outmaneuver, and because of his supernatural upbringing and his just corporeal nature as the soul, can't be hit. As powerful as the Ocean Man has to be, just by being in the ocean.
Time. I'll let you finish your thought.
Okay. As powerful as the Ocean Man must be, it can't break something that can't be touched.
Ooh. So with that, I am going to give Gideon the floor now. You have 1 minute to defend the Ocean Man, or speak on behalf of the Ocean Man, starting now.
Percy Bysshe Shelley's poem Ozymandias describes how the statue of a mighty emperor who built an immortal empire, except it wasn't immortal. The empire had fallen, and all that remains of this mighty man is just two vast trunkless legs of stone, a statue. The ocean is much in the same way. The Soul Man may be untouchable, he may be in peak condition, but ultimately he's not the ocean, as the Ocean Man is where he lairs. The Ocean Man, he soaks up the thirst of the land. Can the Soul Man do that? You say that the soul can't be broken, but would not the soul of somebody who could never drink again be as broken as a man could be, wandering the earth, doomed to never have sustenance again, always parched, always thirsty? The Ocean Man sees all. He's as vast as the sea. He can go to any corner of the globe. After all, that is a real trick.
Time. I will let you finish your thought, as long as no objection.
Overall, all of this world is dependent on the Ocean Man, and nobody would give up their sustenance, him soaking up the thirst of the land, for anything. For without him, there is no soul.
That was absolutely lovely. Now it is time for both of you to speak over each other for 30 seconds. Starting now.
The ocean is immortal. It is
Of
timeless.
will, sheer determination. That means that he cannot be overcome. He cannot.
There is no determination in the face of a 10,000-mile high wave.
Okay,
There
and
is
to the
no
listeners, I also
determination in
have
the
to
desert.
say, at the end of the song, it is noted that you're a soul man. If you vote against the soul man, you are voting against yourself. You are voting for your own annihilation.
That's foolish. That's foolish. The Ocean
you
Man
have-
ultimately is
do you
what
have
survives.
Time. That is time. Everyone back on. So, Jack, Dan. Oh yeah. One final sentence from each competitor, starting with Eric.
Do not ensure your own destruction.
Gideon.
We are nothing without water. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely lovely. So with that, 1 finger up for Eric, 2 fingers up for Gideon on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Dan has said the Soul Man. Jack has said the Ocean Man. Dan, would you like to explain why you picked the Soul Man?
I picked the Soul Man. I think both presentations were fantastic. Honestly, this is very close. If I had to, split hairs though, I think Eric gave more of a reason why the Soul Man would win, and I think Gideon gave just more of a reason why the Ocean Man is really cool. And I agree with both of your things, but I think Eric gave more of an argument on the fight rather than just how cool Ocean Man is. Again, like it's like a 49-51 deal sort of here. You both
Yep.
did a fantastic job, but that's kind of how I'm feeling.
Jack?
I agree that both arguments felt very, very strong. It was hard to pick because it did really feel like an immovable force meeting an unstoppable object. Scratch that, reverse it.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. But what it came down to, I think, was just Gideon made it seem like the Ocean Man would be better at playing the long game. As far as, like, Eric did a very good job. It's like, okay, the Soul Man works on willpower. But I feel like Gideon did make a good point as far as, like, the Ocean Man could just outlast him. He's extraordinarily vast, extraordinarily powerful, and he can just fucking make it so he dehydrates to death. Which I personally see as more likely, assuming the Soul Man doesn't have serious bullshit, which I didn't really like. I think that Soul Man definitely has some good bullshit, but like not enough to outweigh the vastness of the ocean.
I am going to side with Jack on this one as well as Gideon, solely because same reasons as Jack. I do think Gideon gave more of an argument of outlasting the
You can't
Soul
even
Man.
drink ocean water.
Where does the water you can drink come from?
Lake!
Where do the lakes come from?
I do, however, think
Also, he doesn't need straw, whatever.
that is true. I was leaning more towards.
No, you make your decision. Don't go
Yeah,
back on that.
I
now.
think between the two arguments, it did seem like Gideon's led more towards the Ocean Man being able to take down the Soul Man, whereas the Soul Man's was more, here is why the Soul Man is good at what he does. And I think
Good fight, Eric.
there was more counters.
Fantastic debate.
Yeah. I think it was not a battle. If it was a battle of who presented their character better, I think Eric takes it. Whereas if it's a battle of who would win, I think Gideon took it. And the battle is, of course, who would win. So I'm leaning more towards Gideon. So the Ocean Man will face the Piano Man in the next round. I wonder how that will go. And we are going to go to our next match, which is once again Eric. It is Jack's Rocket Man taking on Eric's the man Bruno Mars was. All right, so only Jack and Eric on screen, please. So, Jack, you are on the left side of this match, so I will let you go first. I would like you to give me 1 minute of why the Rocket Man would beat the man Bruno Mars was in a fight, starting now.
So what we see in the Rocket Man story is a lot of melancholy. It's a lot of sadness as far as the story of him missing his family and being alone in the Duchess's space. That being said, he does specifically mention burning up fumes and being high as a kite, which makes me believe that he is being launched into space with no understanding of science, being an ordinary man off the street who is getting high as shit on a rocket ship. He is going to the fucking moon and taking LSD. That is badass. It is my belief that this individual feat is enough to characterize him as one above normal humans. It should also be mentioned that once he is off his rocket, assuming that he can pilot the rocket with his amazing competence, once he's off the rocket, he's closer to his family, he probably has even more power. And quite frankly, his power will probably be stronger after he has his space LSD, because he'd probably be able to see everything on Earth all at once because he can just look down. He'd be able to find his opponent from anywhere. He'd be able to understand anything about them because he
Time.
after space LSD.
Thank you, Jack. Eric, it is now your turn for your opening and only argument time, I guess, starting now.
Okay, so Bruno Mars. What do we know about Bruno Mars? Well, one thing we do know, thanks to this very lovely song, is that his only weakness in a fight is that whenever he hears your name, his heart breaks a little. Now, what is that in a fight? What's that in a fight against a random nameless astronaut? He can't lose. There is no weakness that he has other than that. He wins in every other just capacity. Badassness, amazing singing voice, probably better than an astronaut, and to my knowledge, doesn't do that many drugs. And here's the thing. If it's a fight, the thing is he can't get distracted. He only gets distracted by taking his girl to every party. Plus, he already knows pain. so he says. So that means we have someone with only one weakness that doesn't even
Time.
Yeah.
Would you like to finish
I was
it?
going to sum up. He only has one weakness, and it doesn't even qualify against this opponent. Already knows pain, and he will apologize for his mistakes.
Wow. With that, you each have 30 seconds to go at the same time, starting now.
This is a sad guy who's upset that his
I think
girlfriend
this
comes
is
around.
just
You
kind of
think he
bullshit,
can beat
honestly. Like, I don't think you can
LSD?
actually.
Space
It's
LSD.
insane.
Space LSD. Also, he has a
Spaceman.
family, so he has
He's
a
an
name. People
astronaut.
know
Like,
his
okay,
name.
maybe he went
People
through
think
like a
he
little
is
bit of
someone
a
at
force
home.
training,
The
but
man
the
has
Air
a
Force
family.
is like the
They think
weakest
he's
freaking
someone.
military
He
branch.
has a
They don't
name.
do
His
shit.
name can be
Like,
spoken.
well,
Also, Mars
are
is
you
no place to raise a kid.
It's Bruno Mars.
No
Mars is his name.
ability.
Mars is
He
greater
cannot
than the
sustain
puny
himself.
astronaut. Mars
He
is a
not
planet.
wise enough
Time.
to space LSD.
Time, everyone. Time. Excellent work. I didn't even process the fact that Rocket and Mars were both in the same match. Gideon and Dan, you guys can come back.
I realized it about 16 seconds into our little, 30-second quip.
I will say by far this is my favorite match of the three so far. And I will say, if you would like... Oh yeah, Jack, your final sentence.
The Rocket Man is extraordinarily wise and extraordinarily strong, as shown by his ability to do drugs in space, which is complemented by the name that is given to him by the family that he has and reliably supports him, which would allow him to beat the not particularly wise or strong and lonely little bitch that is Bruno Mars.
Eric?
A haunting rumor come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay?
All right, with that, if you would like to vote for the Rocket Man, hold up one finger. If you'd like to vote for the man Bruno Mars was, hold up two fingers. On three. 1, 2, 3. I had Eric's support on that one. However,
Wow.
legit, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, Jack's only way of winning is to get back down to Earth while on hallucinogenics and then beat up a man with only one weakness, and that's hearing someone else's name.
It's only one weakness. What does that?
So I think in that argument, the scenario that was painted in my head by both these figures, I think Eric had it. However, the votes are the votes, so Jack does advance with the Rocket Man.
I have a question
Yes.
for everyone.
Sure.
Are you guys like me in that you've just been voting for whichever song you like more?
Not necessarily.
Not
You first,
necessarily.
Gideon, you first.
Okay. I don't know if that one counts because just throughout that whole debate, I was just thinking Bruno Mars couldn't beat anybody in a fight.
Eric was already off to a rough start.
Weakness.
Can I
Sure, I feel like he only has one weakness, but he really has two because he's Bruno Mars.
I didn't even consider that. I forgot it was Bruno Mars. Dan?
Nothing to be sorry. I think I didn't. What do you call it? I do like Rocket Man, the song, more, but it's not the reason why I picked it. Again, very close race. I think you both gave very good explanations. I will say, though, what Jack implied with the Rocket Man is that the Rocket Man seems to have a little bit more, has a little bit more of a history, a little bit more, whether it's a sad history or not, he has, there's a little bit more baggage there that might allow him to kind of have the upper hand where Bruno Mars, being Bruno Mars.
It's Bruno Mars. I shot myself in the foot with that pick, I'm not gonna lie.
You had a pick of...
It was gonna carry me.
What do you call it? I think, even aside from the human aspect there, I think he's still, in that song, he's kind of a young lover. So, he's a little more inexperienced, he's broken a lot of hearts, but it doesn't seem like he's, someone with experience that broken a lot of hearts. So, I feel like he can get tripped up, He can
True, I guess the experience column in terms of possible brawl scenarios, I guess, would go to the Rocket Man as well.
Yeah. That's
But-
true. That's very true.
No, we're basing up... Yeah.
Two great debates, though.
Two great points. So Eric is out of people, so I guess if Gideon wins again, we'll see what we can do, but either way, it is up for Mr. Brightside taking on the Iron Man. which is Gideon and Dan. So, Gideon, you get to kick this one off. My buddy Eric.
Have you ever heard of Oedipus, Dan?
I feel like
Greek hero.
Oh wait, no, my buddy Eric. Can you your camera?
Oh, right, that.
It's okay. So, Gideon, you get to kick this one off because Mr. Brightside is on the left side of the screen. So, starting, you have 1 minute to explain why Mr. Brightside would beat Iron Man in a fight, starting now.
You ever hear of Oedipus, Dan? Ancient Greek hero.
Where is this going?
Hubris. He beat a sphinx, right? It whooped its butt. I already know Iron Man, he might be a horrifying monstrosity from space, but there's nothing as powerful as a tragic hero with a dark backstory, and I think Mr. Brightside fills the spot. Iron Man's entire motivation for beating people up is because some people made fun of him. Mr. Brightside literally watched his girlfriend get railed, and yet he's still kicking. I mean, he openly says that destiny is calling me. And in this situation, I think destiny is calling him to kick Iron Man's butt. Because ultimately, he's fueled by his own inner wrath. And that level of emotion can overcome any threat. After all, the song closes with him, I never... But if it was accurate, he would say, I never lose in a fight. Because that's just how he is. He's fueled by wrath.
Thank you, Gideon.
You can finish your last point if you'd like.
Well, I mean, I thought his last point was him finishing the I never pun.
Gotcha.
So with that, Dan, it is now your turn. You have 1 minute to explain why Iron Man would win in a fight against Mr. Brightside, starting now.
Number 1, first line of the song, I am Iron Man. It's not really the words, it's more about how it's said in the song. That graggly robot voice. So we already know that he's like at least a cyborg, at least. So he already has robot abilities that could give him an upper hand compared to, someone who got broken up or got cheated on. Is just a little sad, a little grumpy, So already got that robot ready to fight. Number 2, a little bit later in the song, Vengeance from the Grave. Vengeance from the Grave. That sticks out to me because that means that he might have just come back to life. Or as, risen from the grave after maybe falling down once, meaning that he could probably come back to life again. Maybe he's immortal. Maybe he can't win a fight because this robot part of him has brought him back to life and ready to fight. As my second point. Number 3, and this is more of a counterpoint at you. Mr. Brightside, the song, it's the same verse.
Time.
Can I finish this point?
Here, as long as Gideon allows.
If Gideon's allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Brightside is a song that's really just the same verse sung twice with a chorus in between, meaning that it seems like all of the frustration and anger, all the ideas he has is already run out by the end of the song, meaning that I feel like in a fight, maybe he's not going to have any, unique kind of tactics that he might be able to, beat a cyborg robot. Who his song has, many different stanzas of many unique lyrics.
Thank you, Dan. I will cut you there. Because now you have 30 seconds to go at the exact same time, starting now.
Did David not beat Goliath? Did Gideon not destroy the Canaanites? There are numerous stories of these wonderful warriors fueled by human emotion,
He's already
destroying much more superior enemies. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the deep war of Mr. Brightside with his girlfriend, this atomic bomb.
He's already been thrown off by this pain and anger.
Mr. Brightside has an indomitable human spirit, and ultimately that would be much
Time.
Man of metal.
Time. Wow.
Good job.
All right, I would like Jack and Eric to come back.
Great.
We're going to go to our final sentences. So, Gideon, your final sentence.
I think we've all been Mr. Brightside once in our lives. I mean, who hasn't purposefully heard the song at a school dance and went to sit in the bathroom for the whole time because you felt like you had to? When you're voting for Mr. Brightside, you're voting for the indomitable human spirit. Thank you for that line, Eric.
Dan?
Gideon, while I appreciate that sentiment, and if I was, doing a voting for the underdog, I would most certainly vote Mr. Brightside. I feel like in a practical fight, I think someone who would run to the bathroom and hide might not be the best person to vote for when you're dealing with at least a cyborg, if not a full, iron, creature, cold-blooded, maybe no blood at all, ready to fight and, take it down. That's all I got.
All right.
Men poop.
He doesn't.
Fuck, that's a good point.
Just saying.
All right, so with that, I'm going to throw it to Jack and Eric. If you would like to vote for Mr. Brightside, hold up one finger. If you would like to vote for Iron Man, hold up two fingers. On 3, 1, 2, 3. That was Iron Man indeed. I think that is a very respectful choice. I have to agree on that. Gideon, you made a great argument about the underdog who has a lot of fight in him, who'd always seen the bright side.
It was a long shot.
Dan's counter argument of
with what you had.
Yeah.
what was that, Eric?
He worked well with what he had.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
he did the
getting a little
biblical hero and human spirit angle really well. He proved that Mr. Brightside is very persistent and extraordinarily strong as a character. None of that really translates to how he's gonna beat a giant robot.
It's just, there's only so much he can do.
I do think Dan bringing up the lack of versatility by saying the same thing twice also really put a nail in the coffin.
That was a good, that really did him in, I think.
Yeah, as soon as Dan mentioned that, I'm like, yeah. Because in my mind, I was like, maybe Gideon could be an immortal on repeat type thing. But no, Dan used it against him, so I gave it to Dan at the end as well.
I was a little nervous though, Gideon. That was a great argument. I was sweating a little bit. I think you had a great argument there.
Once you whipped out yours, I knew I was done, You did an excellent job.
So with that, our final four are the Piano Man, the Ocean Man, the Rocket Man, and the Iron Man. A very believable final four, and we will see you in part 2 where we will reconvene and debate the finals. We aren't leaving, just the viewers. The viewers are leaving. You guys stay for now.